and then I'm gonna do a sound check on my phone, and then I'm going to hit start recording. Then I don't have to worry about all that mess. This
Makes
is great.
sense.
Yes. Well, we found this out last episode with Taggett, and
Mm-hmm.
as long as this works correctly, it should be very simple. Yeah, everyone sounds great. I can hear you. They can hear me. If anyone has complaints, tell me, and I will fix it. But for right now, it's working. So we're gonna start the episode. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Something to Listen to. I'm very happy to be back for another episode, and what, episode 6? It's kind of crazy. Can't wait to get to episode 10. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Probably nothing. It's probably just going to be a normal episode, but I'm excited to be here nevertheless, and today's special guest is Lorekeeper. So you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, salutations, Almaz Nation, and everyone else who's here. I am Lorekeeper. Name's Julian, but I'm known in Smash Bros. Circles as Lorekeeper. Uh, and so little bit about me. I am non-binary. I use he they pronouns, so he him or they them. Either one works. I'm cool either way. I'm also asexual, aromantic, and autistic, and learned all this about myself over the past couple years, and it's been really good to know this. It sometimes presents a bit of a challenge, namely with like autism. But it's I wouldn't be me if I wasn't any of these things, and I've been able to be kinder to myself and explore who I am over the past couple years, and it's been a really great experience. These definitely been some really great years. It's been hard at times, especially given certain events involving this country. Though I'll leave it at that. I heard you don't want this podcast to get political, so I won't go any further. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
I appreciate keeping the politics out of it.
Uh-huh.
I also have not got tested yet, so I can't confirm or deny if I actually am
Uh-huh.
autistic or not. But I have there was a guy that I watch on YouTube that found out he was autistic, and a lot of the reasons why he is autistic follow with things that I do a lot. And so finding that out has helped, like using that, it's like, okay, this might be a thing that is me as well. Has helped me out a lot with accepting a lot of the things that I do as well. So it's nice to know things about yourself that you didn't know, and figuring those things out really help accept who you are. Actually, it's been really nice actually, like being like, this could be a reason on why I do a lot of the stuff I do, and it helps out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
I'm
does. That's also why being able to identify with being autistic even before you've been diagnosed, or even if you don't get diagnosed, that's still a good thing because it allows that exploration and whatnot. And yeah, it's really not a problem. I specifically say self-identifying because the term self-diagnosing is really dumb, and I wrote a whole paper on why it's dumb. I could get into it, but yeah, that's yeah.
nice. Okay, well I love that you've been able to find all this stuff out about yourself, because I mean for the past like 2 or 3 years for me, I've also been finding out things about myself. So it's nice to see someone that's in the same situation finding out a lot of things about themselves, and it just
Got similar character arcs.
yes, it helps. It helps. It's surprising how much it actually helps knowing so like things that you didn't know and figuring them out, and it just it helps. It really does. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really helpful. So I'll go into about your life, where you come. If feel free to explain as much as you want, obviously. But anything you're uncomfortable with, just let me know, and we won't have to go into it. But you can tell me a little bit about your life, where you come from, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm from Lakeshore Hills, which is just this at a tiny little neighborhood that's pretty close to Quincy. So geographically, that's about where I am. I went to school in Liberty for pre-K through 12, and yeah, then just went to IC for the past year. Had a really good first year. It was a really great experience being at IC. Yeah, I mentioned this was like junior year. Yeah, I remember January 20th of 2023 was that was when it started. That was when my that was when this sort of character arc that I mentioned started. I will remember specific stuff like that. So yeah, uh, that was when I started kind of like like exploring this about myself, and also like trying to leave my comfort zone a bit, but also like that presented its own challenges because like the anxiety that comes with that is definitely like it's not fun at all, but like it's generally worth it. So that was it's been quite the past couple years, but yeah, it's been I'm at a really good point right now.
That's good. I've also been going out of my comfort zone. One of the best pieces of advice I heard in the past 3 years was try to learn to be okay with being uncomfortable, and
Mhm.
that's helped me out a lot because I've put myself outside my comfort zone way more often because of that, and it's still hard, but it's definitely worth trying to push through things that make you uncomfortable because you want to do them, but you're just scared of what other people think. So you just push through it anyway because you want to do it, and that's
Yeah.
very important and it's very helpful as well.
Mhm.
So I can
This
completely.
I didn't know that you had like a YouTube channel for a long time, but like I just recently found that out, and I was like that's really cool because like I've been considering like just making just content about just videos where I just talk about things that I find interesting. Haven't done it yet, but like it's a thing that I want to do sometime in the future.
Yeah, I think honestly, I mean, I'm obviously not a big jump, but I think the most important part is just getting started. I mean, whether you put out crap content at the beginning or not, it doesn't matter. As long as you're eventually able to find your niche or find something that you really want to do and push it to the point where you just are able to consistently keep doing it, it's worth doing. Um, I mean, I got into podcasts when I started working with my boss, and so that's what motivated me to want to do a podcast. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I found out that I like talking to people about themselves, and so I wanted to bring on a lot of my friends, but also people that I wanted to get to know better, and experience at least a little bit of time of being able to get to know them better. So next time I maybe do see them, I can be closer with them than I was before. And it's been a pleasure. Everyone I've had on has been phenomenal, and I can't wait to see who else I get. And
The
I can,
lighting's just gone awry, but
yeah, I saw that. It's all right. And I
yeah,
mean, obviously, I was stoked to have you on as well because I knew that this was. I knew eventually I was going to ask you, but the fact that you came to me was nice, and I appreciate that a lot. So we're very happy to have you here. At least I
I'm
am.
glad to be here. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. So yeah,
Um,
Is it-
you can go if you had something.
wow, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Not really. Might have to put an epilepsy warning for that. That was a lot, but yeah,
Well, only the video watchers will
the
have to
lighting's
worry
back.
about that, but hey, at least it's back, right?
Hmm.
Um, so obviously, I know you play a lot of Smash. At least I
Hmm.
would assume that from the fact that you are
Yeah.
pretty good at the game and you go to the tournaments, which it's lovely to have you there as well. Do you have any other like hobbies that you enjoy a lot?
Yeah. So, one thing I've something I will do that I like enjoy, but it's like sometimes hard for me to like get into is writing. I've been writing a Pokemon fan fiction for the past like 5 years. It's been very much an off and on sort of thing. Because I have to with writing, it's like a really good way for me to express myself, maybe the best way, but like I have to really like be in the right mindset for it. And I also just have to have like a few hours set aside to work on writing, or else I'm just not gonna like I'm just gonna kind of meander and not really feel like I'm getting much done. Uh, that's something I'll do sometimes. I haven't worked on the fan fiction in a little bit, but I'm gonna try and get back into it. It's heavily inspired by like the tone of like the Pokemon Adventures manga, which is really good. If possible, if whoever's watching this, you should read the Pokemon Adventures manga if you like Pokemon at all, because it is extremely good. It is definitely my favorite interpretation of the Pokemon's just world in general. It's very good. It's mostly known for like a couple panels, like the one where the Arbok gets cut in half, and the one where the Gen 5 gym leaders get crucified. Which it isn't afraid to go to those like dark spots, to those like dark places, but it's not like just that. It's a really good sort of storytelling that takes a lot of like creative risks. That sometimes includes stuff like that, but it's just genuinely super good. And that sort of idea is just what I'm trying to sort of imbue my fan fiction with, which is also just kind of a story of like what I imagined the Pokemon world was like as a kid, and like it's got characters that are like basically inserts of like the protagonist is just basically an insert of myself, and like a bunch of the other characters are based on my like childhood friends. Uh, but yeah, that's a thing that I've really like enjoyed working on. I'm making it mostly just for myself. I don't know, like I might publish it eventually, but like it's mainly just something I'm working on just to work on it. So yeah, I like that. I like that. I also like animated movies a lot. I yeah, my favorite animated film studio is Studio Ghibli. Huge fan of Ghibli movies. They made the Tale of the Princess Kaguya, which is my favorite movie of all time. That one's really good. But most of their filmography is extremely good, and just like a lot of other like big animated film companies I'm also a pretty big fan of, like Pixar, DreamWorks, Disney. Like most of those movies are also really good. I don't like how generally like because like with those three, they're really good movies, but like they're heavily marketed towards kids. But and like just because of that, mainly like animation is just seen as like the kiddie stuff, which like it really isn't. Like with even with movies that are like marketed towards kids, like there's if they're good, then there's a lot of stuff in there that's like really like impactful for adults and more mature audience members as well. Even if it's not like specifically put in for them, the message will like ring true in different ways. I think my favorite example of a movie like that is Kung Fu Panda. The first two Kung Fu Pandas, like really good movies that yeah, that like have they're obviously like very appealing towards kids because like they're super funny and like the action's really good, but like there's surprisingly effective character drama in those movies as well. So that's also really that's yeah, other stuff they do super well.
I agree. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is also animated. So, in my opinion, no problem with having animated movies being a option as an outlet or as a way to make your movie better because of the fact that it's so hard to do stuff with. Like CGI is still being heavily used, but not as good as just animating the entire thing and making it something special. Um, Obviously, I don't know if everyone's seen them, but my like favorite movie of all time is Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. But then Across was also animated, and then we're expecting Beyond to be. I mean, obviously it's gonna be animated, but I'm so excited for that movie as well because it's just been two absolutely amazing movies back to back, and I'm just so excited for the next one as well because of what they did and how good it looks and how amazing the world feels and how special it feels because of the fact that they took the animation and they used it to make an entire world incredible. And
Especially since they're taking time for this third one, like additional time. Like I have no doubt that it's going to be excellent, just like the first two were.
yes,
Like yeah, those are
I
very good movies.
I hope so because I and a lot of other people, I might be biased, but and those people might also be biased, but have said that if the third movie is like at least 9, we have experienced the greatest trilogy in our lifetime, which would be insane that it's a Spider-Man trilogy.
Hmm.
I'm beyond excited for Beyond Spider-Verse because it means a lot to me to see something like that that I care so much about, characters that I care so much about, just get taken to new heights and made into something really special. And that's and those movies. I mean, you could watch them as a kid, but you could also watch them as an adult. They're great movies. There's no problem with animation. Um, Even as an adult, it shouldn't be because they do
Hmm.
such a great job. I mean, video games are trying to look more realistic, but like Fortnite is one of the most popular video games of all time. It's super animated, and I mean, it's not like a movie, but still, there's no problem with having something a little bit more cartoony. One of my top 5
Hmm.
shows is the old Tom and Jerry series. There's nothing wrong. There's no problem with having something animated, and people should stop putting that stigma that animation equals kids.
Yeah, and I think one of the coolest things about animation is that like no, you know that everything that was put in there was intentional. That because the filmmakers have control over every single frame that's on the movie just because it's animated, which I think is super cool. That's one of my favorite things about animation.
That's an excellent point, honestly. Um, yeah, I think that animation is truly amazing, and I like when we do see it, and especially that it was used for something as big as like Spider-Man or even something else. Like they could do so cool with like so many different things. One of the other TV shows that's like recently I watched and I'm waiting for the second season is Creature Command was made by James Gunn. It's on HBO and it's animated. And it's like the first introduction for his DCEU, and it was a phenomenal show. And it was heavily uh, for adults because of how gory it was. Same thing with like Castlevania on Netflix. It's an animated show, but it's a beautifully animated show, and it's very meant for adults, and kids should not be watching it. But it's
Yeah, there definitely does exist stuff like that. That's like explicit animation that is specifically for adults as well. And because I have the irrational fear of blood, I kind of just there's some things I just kind of can't watch because of that. Like Invincible sounds like a really cool show, but just because of how gory it is, I just don't think I would be able to get through it very easily.
yeah,
But yeah, just that's like that sort of thing. Like animation, it's not a genre; it's a medium. I think is a really good way to put it because there's
yes,
animation that is for specifically for adults, and there's also animation that is mainly just for kids. But also like yeah, my favorite sort of animated movies are those that are somewhat that strike a really good balance in between that.
I agree. That's a excellent point. Jeez, you make it like amazing points. Why do I agree with everything you're saying?
Thank you.
This is crazy. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about your life a little bit. So what are you up to nowadays? Like obviously you just finished up the first year of college. So and then I'm assuming you're coming back next year as well. So
Yeah.
what are you up to? And then we'll also I'll go with a follow up question of where do you plan on taking that? So what's the future hold after that?
Okay. So as of like right now, so over the summer, I just got an full time internship at the Quincy Museum, which has been a really great experience because I'm currently just like career wise, I'm just trying to I have a lot of different options because like I have like I'm good at like a lot of different things, but I don't know like what exactly I would want to make into a career. I think I'm like working at a museum so far. It seems like it could be like a really interesting sort of job that I could have. Um, but I'll obviously keep learning more about it as the summer progresses. So I think like general like plan for the future as far as careers go. I just kind of try and figure it out as it goes. I don't have like a one super solid plan because yeah, I have just a lot of different options and several of them sound really appealing, but I don't know which one is like really what I want to do. Um, yeah. Also, just something else over the summer that I like have been wanting to do is just go to more Smash Bros tournaments. I've only been to one so far, and it's been like a month. But mainly because I don't really know like how to find other tournaments. But I'll look more into that like later, especially since like now that I have the internship that and I know my schedule for that, I can actually go to tournaments like mainly on weekends.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's something else I want to do because like Smash Bros that sort of thing, and also if I were to make content, it would just be a thing that I kind of do like on the side as just as like a more of a hobby than anything else.
hmm
That I would be trying to take seriously, but yeah, I've it's yeah more like that than like I because like there's not really much any money in Smash Bros, so I can't really make a career out of that. Um, and yeah, it would be it's kind of like yeah, it would be inconsistent either way. So yeah, that's gonna stay as like more of a hobby, but something I do want to keep working on. Um, but yeah, career wise, I'm kind of undetermined, but I'm looking at like different options.
fair enough. I feel that. I love the Smash community. I would love to be able to do something with the Smash community. Because I just enjoy the being able to watch it is a different is something, and then also being able to participate with what Jake has done for at least my local scene has been phenomenal and really nice. It's and I would love to be able to continue to get better, but also maybe even do like commentary even for tournaments and stuff like that just because it's fun, it's really fun, but it is hard definitely very hard to make a career out of Smash. Um, just because of how little you make. No matter how good you do, it's just not enough most of the time. And that's why I see a lot of people that branch out and do other stuff, and or like Mars even swapped all the way completely to content creation. And you have people that do content creation but also play Smash competitively because they need that extra income because it's tough. Um, and I think it's honestly those are great options. It's like a side thing. It's something you enjoy doing, and you can keep it as like an option of I can have a little bit of income coming from this, but it's not my main focus, so I don't really have to worry about it. And if I don't want to go, I don't want to go. But if I have the time and I want to show up, I can. And honestly, that leads you, at least from the YouTube side, to making stuff that you really, really want to make instead of doing the content grind of just posting a bunch of hoopla you don't really want to do because you have to make a living off of it. So
Mhm.
usually you get better quality videos, in my opinion. I have YouTube I watch that just posts once a week because he finds stuff that he wants to review or talk about, and then he'll talk about it. And his videos are way higher quality than the stuff that gets thrown on YouTube. That's just like, here's a new YouTube video every week, every single day, all the time, 24/7, and it's just like something real quick that they just whipped up that day. And that's something I've also been working on is trying to get my process more narrowed down and more official and better, higher quality because that's what people want. And they don't want it like, at least from my perspective, for YouTube, they don't want like movie quality because they'd go to the movies for that. But they still want something higher quality than just some random TikTok that was filmed just for shits and gigs. And so
Mhm.
it's important to have that balance, and having that as a side thing will, I think, honestly go very well. And I mean, I'm also at the point where I didn't go to college, so I'm just working a job. But I also need to figure out what else I'm gonna do because I can't do what I'm doing for the rest of my life. I got to figure out something else. I'm not making enough, and I don't got enough stuff going on. So I also am in the point where I've like, there's a lot of different avenues that I go, but I don't know. I really don't know where I want to go with it. And I'm 22, so
Yeah.
I'm losing time slowly.
Yeah, but there is still like a lot of future ahead. Something that like one of the things that I've like seen that is like a little like inspiring little tidbit is that like uh J.R.R. Tolkien didn't start writing the Lord of the Rings until he was in his 40s. So like you still got plenty of time to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that helps me out a little bit. Makes me feel less old and like I have a little bit more time. So hopefully I figure out what I want to do, and hopefully you can too, because I'm sure that as long as you find what you want to do, then you'll be happy. So that's what really matters is finding the correct avenue. Because if you're doing something that you're okay with doing, then you're doing better than most people, and that's the
Mhm.
truth. So yeah, as long as you take your time and you figure it out, that's the important part. That's all you gotta worry about.
That's what matters. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
And
So
what
yeah,
you said about the content creation and like making things that you want to make instead of like what will get views, like the sort of like a channel that I like a lot is Big Yellow, and what they'll just make like videos about like fighting games and but just random stuff they find interesting, like Legos. They'll make videos about Legos and different like the history of different like Lego colors, and just stuff like that is the sort of thing that I would want to do if I was making content. Just talk about whatever I think is interesting at that time.
that's fair enough. That's yeah, that makes sense. That's I've started wanting to branch out my content to doing stuff not just besides video games, which is why the podcast is here, but also like other stuff that I want to do. Like I've found a love for working on cars, so I would love to start like filming that. I love the outdoors and like the idea of like taking like dirt bikes per se, or even just a regular mountain bike through trails and like trying to go the fastest through the trail as possible or use a bunch of different techniques to have a good time. And I would just love to start also filming that for content because if it's something that I love, I'll find a niche of someone who likes this stuff and wants to watch it. And I want to put it out there so other people know that this is a thing that people can do and to not be scared to go try something because you want to do it. And so my channel is probably going to be all over the place, but I'm okay with that because it's what I want to do and my channel. So I'll find the
Yeah.
people that like that, and that's okay. And
Mhm.
so I'm excited for that adventure when I finally get to that point as well. But
Mhm.
for right now, we have the podcast and video games, and that's okay with me, which is a great segue into. Obviously, you play Smash, which we talked about a few different times, and I assume from the backdrop, you're a big fan of Pokemon as well.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
indeed.
so I'll ask video games. What are you playing right now?
Okay, so funny thing, I don't actually play that many different games, and mainly just find ones that I like and mainly stick to those. So yeah, I will play like the different generations of Pokemon like a lot. I've been doing that recently. I also really like Minecraft, though. Minecraft is definitely one of my favorite games. That one, yeah, there's just so much that can be done. It's kind of similar thing with writing for me though, where I have to have like multiple hours to do it, or else I feel like I'm just not doing anything.
Hmm.
But yeah, Minecraft is another. It's a game that's really good for like creative expression, and yeah, just the amount of stuff you can do in the game is like I never got the whole like 2 week Minecraft phase thing because like there's like because there's like a bunch of different things that you can do. It's not just like getting to like the end and calling that as beating the game. Like you can just collect like a bunch of random items that you think you might want, and you can like build things in different biomes and stuff. And like I don't know, it's a really cool game.
I agree. I've always uh, I've always come back to Minecraft as much as I have like dropped it and stopped playing it for a little bit. I always find you always find yourself coming back, no matter how long you stay away, because it is that cool. And they'll release an update, and you'll be like, oh, that's sweet. I want to go try that out. It's always a game that's there, and if you want to play it, you can. It's never a bad time either. You always have a good time
Yeah.
playing Minecraft, and no, and people who haven't played Minecraft call it childish. You haven't played Minecraft, so shut up.
Mhm.
Try it, and then you'll understand that it's something special that you can just continue to come back to. And it's something
Like it is
that's
like
the way I feel about a similar but different game, Terraria. I absolutely love that game, but it's just like 2D Minecraft is what people call it. But it's
yeah.
another game I'm like I'll always come back and play that game and I'll do it every few years just because I love both of those games so much.
Mhm. Like the thing with like Minecraft, like yeah, there's obviously like a lot of 8-year-olds and whatnot that are like a big fan of the game, but like it's still just genuinely a very good game, and like yeah, it's definitely like yeah, if it's definitely worth playing if like the only reason you haven't played it is because you think it's cringe. Like it's good.
It is. It's very good. So we'll continue on the games topic. Um, let's see. So obviously you play a lot of what you like, which is fair. Honestly, I
Mhm.
do that a lot too. I'll go back to stuff that I love, and I'll continue to play those games, and so that makes it hard for me to branch out and create new content because I get sucked back into the old stuff, wanting to play those. So do you have a? Could you make a list of top five?
What's the top five? Um, well, most of it would probably be Pokemon games. I wouldn't be able to order it, but like in some order, like I would have Minecraft up there as well for sure. Big fan of Minecraft. Probably Pokemon Legends Arceus was a very interesting game as the first in the like Legends series. Super excited for Legends ZA, which is coming out like later this year, because it takes place not only in my favorite region, Kalos, but also just because of how like the battle system is going to be structured. It's so different from any game we've seen previously, and I like how they do that in the Legends games. They just try all these wacky ideas, and some of them get kept into the main series games to come next, and some of them don't. And I think that's like really cool that they have like a series to try this stuff. 'Cause I think that's super cool. And Legends Z is gonna be awesome. And Legends Arceus had like a lot of like cool new stuff as far as like the lore of the series goes. Which I am they who keeps the lore. So I do I do pay attention to that, and especially since I've been writing the fan fiction for the past 5 years, so I've trying to just been combining like all of the lore, mainly from the official game, but also with the stuff from the manga and the anime. I just take like whatever version makes the most sense to me or that I like best, and then also put my own little spin on it sometimes. Because I don't know, I've heard that like sometimes like people that don't like the idea, like they don't really want to write fan fiction because like they don't like. I've heard like one of my friends say at least that they don't want to like they don't feel like they have like the authority to like decide what should be a certain way. But I was like, no, that's like the opposite problem I have with Pokemon, because the lore sometimes does not make sense at all. Like the Pokedex entries are so like whack sometimes, and it's like I think they're probably just like AI generated or something, because like I think that would make the most sense, because the idea behind Professor Oak's Pokedex is that it automatically generated the stuff about the Pokemon that you caught. So like that makes sense to me. But yeah, all that to say, I like Pokemon Legends Arceus quite a bit. It's a very good game. And yeah, other than that, it's probably just gonna be like, my favorite Pokemon generation is Generation 6, which people don't like Gen 6. I do. Like, I have nostalgia for it, which is like most people's reason for liking their favorite generation. But I also have nostalgia for like every Pokemon generation that isn't like Gen 3 or 9, or maybe 2. But I also love 2. But yeah, but that one in particular just stands out as just. I think it's got the best soundtrack across any Pokemon game. Which again, I don't think people like the Gen 6 soundtrack that much. I think it's really good. I'm a big fan of Gen 6 music, and it's a big reason why I like it a lot. But yeah, that's like my top three. And yeah, most of it is Pokemon. And I don't know if I could do like a top five that much, just because I haven't like played that many. Like, I've played. Pokemon Unite is another spin-off I played. It's basically like Pokemon League of Legends as a way to summarize it. It's significantly easier than League. I was basically strong-armed into playing League of Legends for my high school for like 6 months, which was it was certainly an experience. But yeah, Pokemon Unite has one of my favorite high school memories is tied to that game, because like we got third in a statewide tournament with a bunch of people who like never played the game before, but like who a lot of them had played League of Legends, so they kind of knew the sort of genre. But like that was super fun, because like just getting everyone like in a team, we all got Pokemon that we liked and that worked together as a team. It made that game makes me like Hoopa quite a bit, because Hoopa is super fun to play in Unite. So that was great. Yeah, that experience alone makes Unite just one of my favorite games. I haven't played it in a long time, because like solo queuing in that game is a nightmare. But like yeah, getting a group of friends together is very fun to do and stuff. So yeah, that's another game I like. And again, it's more Pokemon, but like I like Pokemon a lot. And funnily enough, that's like only half the reason I play Mewtwo in Smash Bros. Because like I didn't even like Mewtwo that much before I started playing him. But I could get into the origin story of why I play Mewtwo later. But yeah, as far as like games goes, yeah, that's like those four I like. I might be forgetting other games that I like, any other games that I enjoy in the moment, but like, oh, Fire Emblem Awakening. That's yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening. That would also go up there. I'm a big fan of that game. I haven't played like other Fire Emblem games, or actually I haven't even played that one. Fun fact, I just so in middle school, I watched this like 8 hour long video of all of the cutscenes and like dialogue from the game, so I like understand like everything that happens in it, but I haven't actually played it. And that's why I started the game playing Crom, because that was in middle school, and then later on I found out that hey, that Crom was announced for Ultimate. I was like, okay, and he apparently people early on thought he was like broken, so I was like, okay, so yeah, I played him for a while. Then he got nerfed, but also his victory theme got changed to be the good one. So so I kept playing him for a bit. But then I got tired of getting hit off stage and like dying. So then that's why I wanted to start playing like other characters as well. And yeah, Mewtwo due to like circumstances, Mewtwo came up, and I started playing him after that. But yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening, like yeah, I knew about the game because of Smash 4, because of Robin and Lucina being in the game, and I thought they were kind of cool, and yeah, that's how I found out about Fire Emblem Awakening, and that's my favorite game that I've never played. I will say that is how I'd put that.
That's fair enough. I have plenty of favorite games that I have never played, because I just have heard so much about them and I've seen so much about them that I'm just like, okay, well, I can accept the fact that I will love this game when I eventually play it, but I've never played it, and I don't need to play it, but I probably will at some point. It's just gonna take a minute, and I recently am not
Lighting.
Oh my gosh,
My camera's gone. What? Okay. This will be fixed. Go on.
So I recently, I've always had like a like a love for Pokemon, but never really like played the games or watched anything. Besides the fact that I obviously know they exist and how they're in Smash, and I know the games exist, and I played Pokemon Go. Um, but I've never like fully actually played the game. And so this year I decided I really wanted to try and get into it because ZA's announcement kind of got me excited, and I kind of really wanted to try it. And and so I was like, okay, where should I start? Well, it's Legends, so Arceus. And so my first game, well, technically my first ever Pokemon game was Pearl on the DS,
Mm.
and I got that in like high school, and it was fun. I had a good time. I still haven't beaten it, but it was fun. And so I got Arceus, and I've been trying to work my way through it. But I'm terrible at playing story mode games because I just get distracted and busy doing other stuff, and then just never come back
Mm.
to it because I find another story mode game that I want to play. Um, which reminds me, I'm going to try to beat Elden Ring. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try and do that for you because I've struggled with story mode games, and I'm gonna try and do that. But besides the point, I've also played Unite, and Unite was also a fun time. From
Mm.
the little amount that I played it, but I still played it, and it was also fun. So while not being probably as big of a Pokemon fan, I do understand it, and Pokemon is great. I just
Mm.
personally haven't really played the game that much. Besides, a lot of Pearl. Pearl was the one
Mm.
I've played the most, and I'm trying to start playing. I'm trying to get into Arceus and play that.
Well, that's fair. Like Pokemon's definitely like a concept first sort of game because like the idea of just there just being all these cool little guys that are just all over the place that can do different stuff that like you can catch them and then like train them. They evolve, they become super cool and they can fight and like I don't know. That's just inherently an appealing concept. Which yeah, that's something that's like why the games are as successful as they are because like none of them have that good of a story except for like I would say like Gen 9 is the best one, but like even still, it's not like a 10 out of 10 story or anything. It's like maybe like 7 or 8 out of 10 sort of story. Because like none of them are like that good, like story wise in the grand scheme of things. But they're just cool games. It's just fun to go around and like there's a bunch of different things you would like the collecting aspect is super fun. The battling is sometimes really cool. Like the competitive Pokemon is a really interesting thing. And yeah, just the world building is also kind of cool. Like I like that a lot. That's why I've been writing the fan fiction as well as the manga like I was talking about. But yeah, uh, yeah, I have like opinions on like the different generations of Pokemon, but like after watching the previous episode, I didn't know that Saga was into Pokemon before this, but I might have to talk to him about that after this sometime. But yeah, yeah, I actually one of the first Pokemon games I had was Diamond, so I understand the that's Gen 4, so I understand the Gen 4 vibes. They're pretty nice. Namely, so there's a Wii game, Pokemon Battle Revolution. That was like I played that a lot as a kid using just the rental Pokemon. So because of that, I have a lot of nostalgia for like Gen 4 designs because Diamond and Pearl would connect to that.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I liked Pearl, and I really hardcore pushed it for a long time of playing it when I initially got it, and then fell off a little bit because I stuck at one point, and I figured out how to get past that point, and I played for a little bit longer, and then fell off again, and so maybe it's something I gotta pick back up. I mean, I can always throw a DS in my bag and take it with me wherever I go, because it's a DS. You can take that thing anywhere.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that
but
was mainly my experience with Gen 1 because like I didn't because like there's like guards somewhere in the game that say that they're thirsty but won't let you through. You have to go buy them a fresh water. I couldn't figure that out as a kid. So I was just, beating the rest of the game with my level 66 Pidgeot that I had like Giga over leveled, but like yeah, I couldn't figure out how to get into Saffron City, so I never beat Gen 1 as a kid, even though Gen 1 was my first game. I Pokemon Yellow, I got that and the Game Boy for it from my older cousin. But the first game I actually beat and was able to pick a starter because in Yellow you have to have Pikachu. But yeah, first game that I beat and was able to pick a starter was Pokemon X, which definitely contributes to why I like Gen 6 a lot, and also why it's the main reason why I like Greninja because Greninja is one of my favorite Pokemon, because of the memories I have with good old Super Frog, because that's the guy. That's what I named the guy because I was a huge fan of Superman back then, in like for a long time I fell victim to the group mentality of Superman is boring, but like in recent times I've rediscovered my love for the character. I really like Superman again, so I've come back around on that. But yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got stuck at I don't know if you probably would the Psyducks
Yeah,
that
you gotta get to Celestic Town through the fog route and then get the potion to them.
yep, I got stuck at that point and I was like, where do I go? And I traveled all the way back to the start. I couldn't figure it out, so I finished up like destroying everything with my over level I can't remember its fully evolved name. It's gonna take me off. If
Yeah.
and because that was the starter I picked because I love monkeys are a very cool concept of an animal,
Uh,
and
Yeah,
so
same idea as why I picked Froakie. I just like I there was we just recently learned about frogs in school, and I was like, you know what, frogs are cool. I'm gonna pick this guy. So
yeah,
yeah, also, I
so
think Gen 4 has like I think the best overall starter trio. Like you can't go wrong with like Empoleon, Infernape, and Torterra. They're all super cool.
yeah, I they all are very cool, and so I did struggle a little bit at the beginning. I'm pretty sure my Infernape is just called Infernape, that's
Mhm.
because I like honestly leaving my name stock most of the time. To be honest, I don't
Mhm.
know why. It's probably something to do with something up here, but it's nice,
Yeah.
and also I can quickly identify their name and
Yeah.
what they are because I just leave them as a base name, and it just makes more sense to me. I guess it's probably from growing up watching the Pokemon show. You just call them all
Yeah.
by their actual Pokemon names, and so I'm just like,
Yeah. None of the
I'll
protagonists
do
use
that.
nicknames in the anime, so yeah.
Yeah, so I'm always just kind of like, yeah, I'll just keep the name. And so
Mhm.
yeah, my over leveled Infernape is still crushing through the game because that's what the exact same. I got stuck and I just over leveled my Infernape to the point where he just destroys anything I come up against right now.
Mhm.
And yeah, Superman. You said Superman, which is a
Yes.
great, completely off topic from video games, but is a great
Mhm.
segue into TVs and movies because of James Gunn's DCEU and the new
Mhm.
Superman movie that's coming out that I assume you're very excited for.
Yeah, because like a lot of a big reason as to why the Superman is boring mentality came around is because a lot of the movies about him were not good. So so this one hopefully will be. I've heard good things about the director. I don't really know much about him, but like I am hoping it's good. It comes out in like just under a month, I think. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm definitely gonna be seeing it. I'm very much excited for it.
So James Gunn, I don't know if you've watched Marvel at all either.
I've seen the Guardians movies. Those three are all very good. I've seen like a few others, but like none of them really stuck out to me as being like super as like being super big fans of those.
Okay, so you love the Guardians movies,
Yeah.
and you've heard great things about the director for Superman. The
Yes.
same director.
Oh, good.
They're made by the same guy.
That is good to hear.
Yeah. So you are hopefully going to that makes your excitement hopefully better because this guy
Hmm.
James Gunn is the guy who made it, who was the director for all the Guardians movies, and like you said, did a phenomenal job. I love those movies.
Hmm.
And then he is the main director. He's like the Kevin Feige of the DCEU now. And so I'm really hoping DC will take off, and I'm very excited for um, Superman because of that fact. And Creature Commandos was like the Suicide Squad was his technically first project with DC, but he also I lost him, and he's back. Hello,
Am I here?
you are here. I can't see you, but you're here.
Okay, that was unfortunate.
Oh, he's gone again. Oh no! Oh no! It's terrible timing. I don't. Mm, mm. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, is he back?
I've reloaded.
Oh, he's back. Okay, it sounds like we're cooking again.
Okay,
Hopefully, we don't lose you.
yes, I'm here for now. We'll keep it going.
Yeah, we will keep it going. So yeah, James Gunn is now in charge of that, and so his first DCEU project for his DCEU was Creature Commandos, and it was phenomenal. So if you ever have a chance to watch that, I would recommend it. It's very good. It's not like super gruesome like Castlevania or Invincible, but it does have a little
Okay.
bit of blood. But
Okay.
I would still recommend it. I still think it's phenomenal.
Mhm.
And so I'm very excited for the Superman movie because it's James Gunn, and I know he does good stuff. And if this movie's good, then we have the potential for to have a Marvel level DC universe. And DC means a lot to me as well because of all the characters are so cool. And I also was in that state where I was like, oh, Superman, this guy is lame because he's just giga broken. But I've also come around to the fact that it's like he's pretty cool still. He still is pretty
Mhm.
cool, even though he's
Yeah, when you think of him, think of but instead of thinking of the super, think of the man, and I think that like helps a lot.
that does help incredibly a lot. And that, I'm again, like I said, very excited for that movie because of James Gunn mainly. I mean, I'm so excited for what he's going to do with it, and I really hope it's everything that we hope it's going to be. And I'll hopefully
Absolutely.
see it like opening day or like opening weekend
Hmm.
because I'm excited for it, and I don't want to get anything spoiled. It was the same way with like Thunderbolts. I was very excited for that movie because I'm excited for the ragtag team that comes out of nowhere and does something great, like Guardians was a ragtag team that came out of nowhere. It's something great. Yeah, I was very excited for Thunderbolts, and so I went and watched that opening weekend, and again, they did a great job. It's probably the best movie we've had since Spider-Man: No Way Home. So Thunderbolts was a worthwhile watch, and I really hope the same for Superman. So it's
Hmm.
cool to know that you are excited about the Superman movie, just hopefully
Yeah.
just as much as I am, because
Hmm.
it's exciting. It really is. Do you so obviously you like and he's gone again. He's back. He's gone. Oh no. He's back.
Hopefully, this stops happening because it's
Yeah. I
frustrating.
no, I get it. That would you can't, it's out of your control. I mean, if you can't help it, you can't
Yeah,
help it. But I would love to
have like a consistent conversation. That would be fun.
that and also like just talk more. I'm having a great time with this. This is great.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm down to stay as long as you want, or as long as my computer allows for.
yeah, that's really important too. Um,
Hmm.
so are there any other like I'm a big superhero guy. So
Hmm.
are there any other like superheroes that you're a big fan of?
So I like the Incredibles a lot. So I enjoy a lot of those characters. Um, I do enjoy Spider-Man quite a bit, and I remember liking Iron Man a lot. I haven't seen the movies in a while, so I don't know if they're actually good or not. But like I remember thinking the character was pretty cool. But yeah, the Spider-Verse movies, like I also like them a lot, and they definitely like got started to like Spider-Man.
Uh, yeah, no, the Spider Verse movies. Uh, we'll go back, and I don't want to ramble about them again, but
Yeah, yeah.
they're phenomenal. I love those movies so much. I could literally watch them over and over, and I can't wait for the next one.
It took me a long time to see the first Spider-Verse though. I only saw it before I was gonna see the second one with one of my friends. So like yeah, so I didn't. I heard it was really good for a long time, but I didn't actually see it. But then I did watch it, and it was like, yep, that was in fact very very good.
Yeah, there's a reason. I mean, I think they're both phenomenal, but there's a reason that first one is my favorite movie of all time, at least
Yeah,
as of right now, because it is it is good. It's really good.
yeah. The animation style of that movie just like impacted a lot. It's part of the reason I think Puss in Boots 2 looked as good as it did, and that's another one of my favorite movies. Huge fan of Puss in Boots. Just as a character, I thought it was. I think he's super cool, and I love just the DreamWorks adaptation of him. And how like it like ties into the original fairy tale, but also like adapts it in a unique way. Like, it's definitely one of the best sort of like adaptations that they do for like the Shrek sort of movies. But yeah, his the first movie was like it exists. He's cool, but like yeah, the movie just kind of exists. But the second one's amazing, and like everyone knows that it was a big thing for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. and that
I
was partially as good as it was thanks to Spider-Verse. So yeah.
I I also agree with that statement. Of I think that they took a little bit of an inspiration from Spider-Verse, which I'm not against because of how good the movie was. I recently
Mhm.
started rewatching it, and I was watching it in the kitchen while I was eating for lunch one day, and my sister just happened to. She hasn't seen the movie, but she knows it's a good movie, and she really wants to watch it. And she just happened to glance over my shoulder. I said, "This is one of the best scenes in the movie, and it's when Death first appears while he's sitting at the bar."
Yeah, that's such a good like villain
Yeah,
introduction scene.
and he's like, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this is good. This is so good." I was like, "I know, it's insane how good of a job they did with this movie for being like what it is. It's also another phenomenal movie, and like I said, I started rewatching it, and I'm happy I did because it's, you brought it up, and I remembered how great it was because it is truly another one of those animated movies that is amazing. It's so good.
Hmm.
It's really good. I'm gonna finish it tonight now.
Hmm.
It's that good. It is really that good. So movies obviously big. Besides superhero stuff, are there any other movies that you like you have to talk about because they're that good?
Okay, so I've mentioned the first two Kung Fu Pandas. 3 and 4 I still enjoy, but they're not quite on the same level as the first two. I mentioned those. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. It's the best looking movie I've ever seen. It's yeah. It took 8 years to make for a reason because it's animated because it's an adaptation of a traditional Japanese story, and it's animated to look as like it's like a Japanese like scroll come to life. It's so good and like very yeah. The it's super impressive animation. The storytelling is phenomenal, and it's yeah. Like I remember, I've also watched that movie at the perfect time in my life to do so. Like it was like mid character arc, when I was like kind of at a low point. I like was at a point where I needed to feel something. So like, and I heard the movie was good, so like I put it on, and then I felt like everything. Like I felt like every emotion that a human can possibly feel through the time of the movie. Because like it starts out as like a very like mysterious, but also like then it goes to being like charming and kind of like happy go lucky, and then it like develops, and then like and then you feel like angry as some of the other plot like happens. And then by the end, like I cried more than I have for like any other movie ever. It's or any like yeah, it's such a good movie. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. It's my favorite movie of all time.
Should, Send me the title because I have actually never seen it, and it sounds
Okay,
great. If you get a chance at some point, send me the title. I will look it up and I'll find a way to watch it, and I will watch
I'll
it because
I'll do so after the call. But yeah,
perfect.
that one's phenomenal. And the film studio in general, Studio Ghibli, is really good. They make a lot of like consistently excellent movies. There's like very few that are like not good. Like it's like I can count them on one hand. And they've made like almost 30. So yeah, really good. And
Hmm,
so I mentioned those. I also love Ratatouille. Ratatouille is my favorite Pixar movie. That one is excellent as well. Um,
that's not a bad
because
choice.
I
I'm not
think
mad at that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
have a very
I
strong opinion on my Pixar movies, but
okay,
I'm not mad at that choice.
yeah, huge fan of Ratatouille. So yeah, I think so. I mentioned that I mentioned Tale of the Princess Kaguya, first two Kung Fu Pandas. Wreck-It Ralph is my favorite Disney movie. But I've recently discovered that The Great Mouse Detective is like also definitely up there for me. It's my second favorite Disney movie. That's a super good one. It came out like just before the Disney Renaissance, like just 2 movies before, and I think it would be considered a part of the Disney Renaissance if it wasn't for coming out like right before Oliver and Company, which did not do well. So so no one would consider that as part of the Renaissance. So instead, the Little Mermaid started just a couple years later. But The Great Mouse Detective is awesome. It's a Sherlock adaptation that like it's an adaptation one step removed from Sherlock Holmes because it adapts a series of children's books called Basil of Baker Street. That's about like mouse Sherlock Holmes, like a mouse version of the guy that lives in his basement. And it's crazy how good the Disney movie is because like not only do they like make the characters like really compelling, but also my favorite thing about the movie is the villain. Ratigan is my favorite Disney villain. They did such an interesting thing with him because in the books he's just like a mouse like any other, just like scrawny, the same size as Mouse Sherlock Holmes Basil. But like in the movie, he's this giant rat dude who has this like super who has this super like flamboyant persona and has like he's voiced so well. He's voiced by Vincent Price, Who, if you know the Michael Jackson song Thriller, the guy who does the monologue, the darkness falls across the land stuff, that's the guy who voices Radigan, and he does so in just like the perfect way. And yeah, I've also wrote an essay on this. It was 8 pages long, and about like how interesting the character dynamics were, and how they compared Sherlock and Moriarty. But yeah, that's another really good movie that I recently have got more to say about that. Even though I do slightly prefer Wreck-It Ralph, just because I was like more recently got into the Grey Mouse Detective, I had to shout that out in a little more detail.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I get that. There are definitely probably some movies that I like that are very niche that not everyone knows, and it's okay. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I love this, and I'm gonna continue to love it because of how much it means to me. Like, I swear to God, I'm not sponsored by this game whatsoever. I promise. I'm not product placing or anything like that. I just genuinely care so much about this game.
Oh, true.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things. It's not. It got nominated for the Game of the Year in 2023, the year it came out, and so obviously it's not like a small game, but it's not the biggest game, and it's just one of those things that I don't care that if you don't like the game or whatever. I'm going to continue to love the game no matter what because it just means so much to me, and I don't know why it means so much to me, but it's just so good, and the fact that one guy did it in his basement means, I guess, is what it is for me. And
That is very impressive. Like indie games are always like they're super impressive just because of that. Like obviously I played through most of Undertale, and that was also an indie game. It obviously became like a massive like pop culture phenomenon since then. But, like it was again just like one guy largely made this game, and the music is really good. That is one thing that like I will consistently come back to is Undertale music is excellent. Also another indie game that I learned about recently thanks to Jimmy T. Cool uh, is Nubby's Number Factory. That game I've never actually played it because I don't have Steam, but it's like just I think it's like $1 on Steam. It's such a funny game, and like the sound design is really enjoyable, and just I don't know, it's just yeah, it's just such a like a fun funny game just to watch. And I'd imagine it'd be fun to play as well. So yeah, I feel like shouting that out.
fair enough. That's speaking of funny small indie games that are just like you said, great sound design. They're fun. They're funny. I recently played through That's All, folks. I think is what it's called. With I can't remember. It's gonna tick me off because I can't remember. It's so good though, and I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. But it was another one of those. It was a shorter, cookie, funny, fun game. Um, and it was just great. I can't. Oh, it's gonna tick me off. It's gonna tick me off. Oh, I, I'm gonna find out what it's called. But
It'll be pinned comment whenever you remember it.
yeah, I'll definitely make sure to bring it up when I remember it because I for some reason cannot. It's just not coming to me, and I don't know why. Because it was so fun. Oh my gosh. And I can't pull up my Steam right now either. Maybe I could. I think I have it on Steam. Besides the point, we'll keep that pinned. We'll put a pin in it and we'll come back to it. Because yeah. So we've been all over the place because that's what I'm good at, and now I'm just stuck on trying to figure out what the name of that movie is. The game is. Oh no. Okay, TV shows. That's great. I absolutely love TV shows, and I think that there are some of the best way to express what you want to express, but you need longer than whatever a movie's going to get. Thank goodness you're here. It's on my Steam page. Thank goodness you're here. Is
Thank
what
goodness
is
you're here.
is another phenomenal game. Jacksepticeye played it. I don't know if you like Jack or not,
Mhm.
but
I've heard of the guy. I'm not familiar with his content.
if you want to watch somebody play it, he plays the entire game in one sitting, and
Okay.
so uh, Jacksepticeye, thank goodness you're here, is a great way to experience that game without having to go play it on Steam because it's
Yeah.
obviously you don't have Steam. Um,
Yeah.
but phenomenal, and I would recommend going watch him play because it's just great, and he's a great gamer. So TV shows. Um, I obviously have talked about TV shows a little bit here, and I think that they are a great outlet. Like I was saying earlier, before I got to the name, a great way to express a story with needing more than just a movie to do so, but you're wanting I guess a different way. I don't know. It's just good TV shows are good, and
Mhm.
I don't know how else to explain it, to be honest.
They're good in ways that like you can pace them in different ways that than you could if it was just a movie because you inherently will have more time.
Yeah, it's a good way to explain it. It's a perfect way to explain it. They take the time to do what they need, and if the person really cares about the project, and they do exactly what they need to do with the time that they have, and they do it well. A great you talked about Invincible, but that's a great example of someone who took something that they cared about and made it special because the comic book was I don't remember how many like issues there were or something like that, but he had a story he wanted to tell in that universe, and he did that and ended the series, which is
Hmm.
something special because instead of deciding that he wants as well as the comics comic books did, he decided that that's the story he wanted to tell, and he didn't want to cash grab us because he did what he wanted to, and
Yep.
he doesn't need to do more than that just because he wants to make money or people want more. It's what he wanted to do, and it's
Hmm.
perfect because of that. And I really hope they do that with the TV series as well. And it seems like that's what the direction that they want to take with it as well, which I love because you get exactly what it's supposed to be and nothing more.
Yeah, because not everything needs a sequel, and that's good when you're just telling the story that like when it functions good as a standalone story. Sometimes that's all you need.
I would have felt that way with the first Spider-Verse movie if they just did that and they hadn't done anything else. I would have been like, I'm completely okay with that. I would loved to see more of this world, but they nailed it out of the park with the first movie, and I don't need anything else.
And just the fact that the sequels are the first sequel is as good as it is just like that's just that yeah, we'll take that too. Cherry on
Yeah.
top, if you will.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, I love when they do that. Right? They take something that's great and they make a sequel that is just as good, or if not better. That is really hard to do sometimes, but if they do
Hmm.
do it, it's also very good. As good as being like, oh, I'm just gonna make one and it's gonna be good and I'm happy with that. It's just as good as that in my opinion. Both of those are great because, for instance, Incredibles is phenomenal. It's a
Yeah.
phenomenal thing that they did, and it was great that it came out with it and all that. And then Incredibles 2, while still being good, was not as good. And so
Yeah.
it kind of takes away from the first movie just a little bit, just because the second
Yeah.
one isn't as good.
Hmm.
So
Like comparing the villains is honestly kind of sad because of just how much better Syndrome was.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, like the second one, it like looks like better. The animation is more like enhanced, which is good. But like story wise, it just kind of hits a lot of the same beats as the first one, and does just kind of feel like the fact that the movie lost time. And because like its release date was switched with Toy Story 4, that definitely impacted it a lot. Like that definitely it could have I think been a lot better if it had more of its own story to tell instead of just rehashing stuff from the original.
yeah, I agree. Which is you bring up Toy Story. So you said you were favorite Pixar movie. My favorite is Pixar One. I think that they just that was maybe I'm
Was there one?
nostalgic. Yeah, Toy Story One, the first Toy Story. Maybe I'm nostalgic because that was like one of the first movies I ever watched. But I just it's a movie I keep coming back to, and I'm just like, this is so good. I don't care if the eyes don't blink at the same time or whatever. It's
But it was the
beautiful.
first full CGI animated movie, and that's very impressive in its own right.
It's just it's so beautiful, and I love it so much. And the second one, not as good, but still good.
Mhm.
And the third
I
movie,
think second one's my favorite of the four, but yeah, the first three are all very good.
I think the third one falls off even just a little bit more as well. I I think they go in order, like one, two, three is order for one, two, and three. And the fourth movie, I I'm depressed. The fourth movie makes me
Yeah,
depressed because
it
of how
didn't
much
need
I
to
love.
exist. That
Exactly,
Yeah, like the
exactly.
third movie's ending is the best part of the movie. I think the rest of the movie is also like very good, which is nice because like it's kind of like Up, but like I think it's better than Up because with Up it's like the first 5 minutes are like phenomenal, but like after that it becomes like not nearly as good as those first 5 minutes, except for like a few points here and there. But like yeah, with Toy Story 3, most of the movie is very good, and then it ends like really really well.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, that's why I think that's like a really good movie.
I agree. I think the Toy Story movies so far are a good example of doing something again, but making it good. So, and then continuing to expand that universe and finishing it out in a very good way, and then deciding cash grab.
Yeah, because five absolutely is definitely five's unarguably a cash grab.
I don't even want to watch it. I don't,
Yeah.
just because I'm so terrified of what's going to happen because of what happened
Hmm.
in four. Um, I already wasn't excited for four just because I was like, why? Why do we need that?
Three ended the series as well as it could have. Four didn't need to exist. I still thought it was like all right, but like it definitely not as good as the first three.
Yeah. Uh, so I when I heard five was coming out, I was just like, I will, I will. I don't even care. I'm gonna probably watch it because, like I said, Toy Story is my
Yeah.
favorite Pixar movie of all time. But I, I'm not excited. I can't. I really can't be. It's hard. It's hard to be excited for something like that after you take something that was so special to me and you just kind of said, I'm going to use that to get money from you. And so I just can't be excited for it, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Um, as much as I love that series.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just it's a little sad because
Yeah,
this.
I think Kung Fu Panda's kind of in like a similar spot, sort of, where the sequels are coming out, and like there was a significant tonal shift from two to three, because like two like new director from the first one, and it's like astonishingly dark. Like one has like better action and is maybe a little funnier and like has perhaps a bit more compelling character drama, but two is like astonishingly dark for a Kung Fu Panda movie, and it's like about not letting your trauma define who you are, which is a super cool message to have in a movie like a Kung Fu Panda movie. And again, those movies they pull off their themes super well, even in spite of their goofy premise. Like it's really remarkable. I love the Kung Fu Panda series, mainly the first two, like I've been saying, because like those two are the ones that really have those like super compelling themes. Three still has its good like character moments and has like a threatening villain, but there's not much to the villain, and like the music in all four is really good, but yeah, three it's just it definitely feels like there's not as much tension as there should be because of how much time is just spent like in the panda village just doing random stuff,
Mhm.
instead of how the first two were. And then four just kind of takes that and runs with it. It's more of like not that serious, and again the music's really good. And mainly with four, the thing that bothers me most about four is just the amount of missed opportunities there were, and also that we're stuck with the Aquafina Fox for the next two sequels. The lack of the Furious Five wasn't that big of a deal for me, um, but like because it was more about because the story was more focused on like Poe and what he was doing next. So I think in a vacuum it's like fine. But yeah, they presumably are going to be back for the fifth and sixth ones though because they showed up in at the end credit scene of four. And yeah,
Spoilers.
Aquafina Fox like didn't bother me all that much in 4, but like I think she's going to get old fast because I haven't seen 4 that many times. But yeah, I can't imagine she'll be super nice to have for the next 2 movies.
Yeah. I tell you spoilers. First of all, just to spare anyone, but also I have not seen Kung Fu Panda 4 yet.
Okay.
I've heard so much bad stuff that I don't know if I'm going to watch it. So
Yeah.
I really don't
I
mind
don't
if
think it's
you.
terrible.
I probably will because you reminded me how much I love 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Um, because you bring it up several times and I just completely just didn't talk about it. But 1 and 2 are another one of those things that's just special. It's so good, and they took one, and one was phenomenal, which was just an insane concept to come up out of like what seems like randomness. It was just and it's good. It's really good. And then they did it, and then in my opinion, I like 2 a bit more. I just like Shen as a villain a bit more than Tai Lung. So I put another thing where they made it better, and I love that because
Hmm.
of something that doesn't seem like it would be as like great, amazing movie with great storyline and great underlying
Teams and whatnot.
yeah, and it is. It just really is.
Like its premise doesn't seem that far off from something like Boss Baby, which is like not good. So
Yeah,
like it is yeah, but like it's so impressive how Kung Fu Panda managed to do it. A quote from the directors of the first one that I think is pretty emblematic of like why the first 2 are as good as they are is they said, "Let's take Kung Fu Panda, an idea that everyone gets comedically, and then let's try and surprise everyone by giving them more movie than they were expecting from the title. Let's
yeah,
make it a real martial arts movie, albeit one with a comic character."
yeah. I agree with that. They did something special. It's something special. It is. I keep saying that a lot, but it really is.
It's true.
It is true. It is very true. Now I don't like to assume things. But I don't take you as much of a sports guy.
Not really, no.
Okay. So we'll avoid unless you have something that really stands out in sports as like an interesting like sport that you enjoy, maybe watch or maybe do sometimes. Uh,
Not
so
like really, because I mean, I was on my high school cross country team, but I didn't keep doing that into IC, and I was kind of like I because I grew up with some of my family, like my mom's side of the family's from Seattle, and then my dad's is from St. Louis, so I grew up liking the Mariners and the Cardinals just because of that. But yeah, I don't really I never really found baseball to be that fun because I also played that for like early years in like elementary school, but like after a while I was like I don't really like this. So yeah, I never really been into like sports all that much, unfortunately.
I feel like I've heard that you were going cross country before, but it's just I also ran cross country, and it's it's funny that it's always weird to meet somebody. Maybe not weird is the correct term, but it's funny to meet someone else that's running cross country because it's not at least from where I'm from, it was not a popular sport, but it's still like something that you're like, yeah, I did that, and like people know what it is, but
Hmm.
it's always like, oh, you also did that. That's kind of cool,
Yeah,
at least for me.
I still enjoy running just like for fun, but the pressure of doing it competitively made it a bit less fun, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. Running was always for me an outlet to like kind of let go of a lot of the thoughts that I had going on. And so being able to do that at a competitive level was a bit different. And I still pushed myself and had a good time with it because of all the people that I met and um, still having an outlet and actually having like consistently being able to do that. And that's probably what's keeping me in such good shape because I eat like a pig. Um, but yeah, it was something that I didn't expect to ever do, but I am happy I did it nevertheless, and
Mhm.
has helped me a lot. Definitely gave me An outlet just to get rid of stuff that I didn't need anymore.
Yeah, it's running's probably my favorite way of coping with being angry a lot of the time. And yeah, I am glad I did cross country, even though I don't do it anymore because like yeah, a lot of the memories I made from doing cross country were they're very fun. I am glad I did it overall.
Yeah, it's I feel like most people feel like that for cross country at least, because it's just one of those. It's one of the sports where you're like, I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but I had a lot of good memories. It was fun. All the other guys were fun and all that stuff. But whoever you hung out with on the team, because I mean, sometimes you get along with the women. A lot of my people on my team were on the women's side were very quippy and very much like, that guy's the new kid. We don't talk to him. But that's I'm not too worried about it. I had a good time with
Mm.
a lot of the people that I met there, and a lot of the people that I expected to kind of be like, oh, I don't like you because you're weird. I became very good friends with because of cross country, and so I was very happy to actually get to know these people that I didn't expect to know and get along with. So it was just nice. It was really something nice.
Yeah,
So I assume you like reading books on
yeah,
on the opposite side. I am,
Mhm.
as I've mentioned on the podcast, not a big book reader. I've been trying to get better at it, because I know it would help me with a lot of the things that some of the things that I struggle with, reading books, just because it helps with a lot of stuff. It really does. And so I will sit back and let you talk about some of the books that you've read and ended up being something special.
Okay, so with books, I've definitely like I enjoy reading a lot, and I used to do it a whole lot. In recent years, I haven't done it quite as much as I used to, but I've been getting back into it, especially since I'm majoring in English, so I've been reading a lot at IC. So that's it's been helping me get back into reading. One I'm currently reading through the book of Howl's Moving Castle, which is a Studio Ghibli movie. Showed them out before, but yeah. And the book is interesting in its ways that it differs from the movie because it's like it's got it's because the movie has like a bit of it like an anti-war message, whereas the book is more like focused on like fairy tales, and I think that sort of like you can also like see how it got from there to there if you know about the director of the movie. So it's been very interesting to read through. So that is one. I remember a book that I like loved a lot when I was younger was The Giver. I think that was a super interesting book just because of how like how because of just how it what it presented and what it didn't, and like how the world you form in your head is like so strange but also like compelling. I think the book's really good. I've heard some people don't like it. But I don't know. I thought it was really interesting, and it was my favorite. It was my favorite book for a long time. Now it might still be, but I don't know. I'll have to read a little. I'll have to yeah, just keep reading more books and further expand my palette.
Fair enough. I um I don't know. I've just never. I guess there was a lot of past trauma for me not liking books just because of some of the teachers that I had. Just weren't allowing me to read books. Uh, Using my resources of things that I had to read books to make it actually more enjoyable for me, and so that kind of got pushed on me that I had to do it this way. That's the way you had to read a book, and so I couldn't. I just didn't. I've never liked reading. I just. I don't know. I've always like tried to get into books that I thought were interesting, and I can't do it. I really can't. I don't.
Mhm.
I would assume that's the reason, but I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, but a good or a bad teacher can really make a big difference in whether you like something or not.
Yeah, and mine all happened in second grade.
Mm-hmm. Formative years.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. Haven't been able to really read like I can read obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
like actually sit down and read a book that I've actually been interested in. He's frozen. We're losing him. Oh no, not again. Not again, no! He's just Discord. Let's see, Discord. I have it right here. It says it's ongoing. I've lost him now. Oh, he's typing. Give me a sec. Okay, so he'll be back. Hopefully here soon. I don't know how. I would hope to like edit this down, cut this out the way when we post it, and it's not being live streamed. I can fix that. I don't know how to do that yet, because Linux is weird. So maybe I try and do that. The problem is finding time to do.
Okay, am I back?
He is back. Welcome back. You are super pixelated, but you're here.
You get pixelated. Okay.
It cleared up a little bit. So
Okay.
I think we can actually make out your face now.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. So books, just not really something I've ever been able to get into as much as I would like to. I just can't.
Yeah. Reading can be a really good experience, I've found, because I've loved just the way English classes at IC are set up, and we've been reading some interesting stuff as well, so that's helped. Because reading the Sherlock Holmes books has helped me appreciate the Grey Mouse Detective more, just because I can understand where it's coming from as an adaptation.
Okay. Yeah.
So that can help. Yeah, it can help. Like just with that, it can help just with appreciating other media more, just by understanding how books work as a medium compared to other stuff. And yeah, I think they're interesting and quite cool. Especially since I write a decent bit, that also reading's helpful for that.
Yeah, that makes sense. That it would probably help me out with a lot of things, like I stated. But I don't know. For some reason, I can't do it anymore. I just can't ever. I pick up a book and I get bored. And
worthwhile thing to try and get back into, though.
Yeah, I always try to push myself to try and get back into it, because it's something that probably would help me out. So, you bring up Illinois College. No, let's go back actually to talk a little bit of how you started playing Mewtwo. What made you actually land on Mewtwo for Smash Brothers?
Okay, so with Chrom, I mentioned how I love Fire Emblem Awakening, so that got me wanting to play him. But so at that point in time, I actually played a third of the roster, because my knowledge of competitive Smash came from Little Z videos. I still didn't know what I was doing much at the time. But yeah, over quarantine though is when I finally settled on Mewtwo, because the thing that got me starting to play Mewtwo at all, as just one of my many characters, was on a road trip. I had the Switch. I was in the back seat with my brothers, and I was showing off how I could do with all the individual Pokemon characters. At the time, I thought I was best with Lucario, so I played Lucario, and I remember it was against a Link CPU, and I beat them with one stock left, and then I beat a Wii Fit CPU with Mewtwo with two stocks left, and I was and I had to John is actually Link's better than Wii Fit and whatnot, saying that stuff to justify why my Lucario didn't do as good as my Mewtwo. But I was instantly I was you know what, that Mewtwo felt weirdly good to play, because I forgot he was in the game, because nobody played him for a long time, still no one does.
Yeah.
And again, before I started playing him, I didn't really care about the guy that much, so I didn't feel super interested in playing him. But then after that, I then watched the first movie again, and I was wait, this is pretty cool. So yeah, and also just found a few videos on YouTube talking about Mewtwo and analyzing his character in the first movie. And I was wait, I like this guy. So I started playing him as one of the characters. Also, funnily enough, this was still in middle school. I ended up forming a power scaling headcanon in my head for Mewtwo, because and I remember thinking he was the strongest character in the roster of Smash Bros. Canonically, which feats wise he's maybe top 20, because it's very inconsistent. But like I don't know, he's got the best hacks in the roster. I will still say that. So like he might have the best matchup spread. He might have the best like Kirby matchup canonically because Kirby, everyone knows how like Kirby's like busted. But like Mewtwo could he'd probably have a better shot than a lot of the characters for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so all that got me like really liking Mewtwo back in middle school, and then quarantine happened, and then I found the channel of Not Bay, and this guy is mainly the reason I'm playing Mewtwo nowadays because like he was really good. He made the character look super cool, and yeah. With just by watching just his content just kept me like playing Mewtwo on Wi-Fi during quarantine, and I just decided to drop everyone and just only focus on Mewtwo. And he was like and just with Mewtwo, he had everything that I like didn't like about Chrom like fixed. Because like I went from dying when I got hit off stage to just like having a top 10 recovery in the game, just being able to chill out there for like a long time. Because like even though Mewtwo falls like decently fast, he has the floaty double jump, can stall multiple times, and the jump goes higher than Yoshi's, and it's like and a really good teleport. So like we can really good recovery, and so I don't die off stage like that anymore. I now have a projectile, a really good one. I can reflect stuff now. I'm still super fast, like on the ground. I've got an even higher dash speed and a higher air speed, and like there's just like Mewtwo had like covered all of the problems I had with Chrom, and like still he hits like a truck. He's like he had better kill power than like Donkey Kong. So like he was just like very fun, and like even though like obviously he's light tail's not that big of a deal, by the way. Like it's annoying. It would be better if I didn't have to worry about it, but like it's not like the one thing keeping him from being like a top tier. But I don't know. He's like even in spite of just being big and light is a problem. Like even in spite of that, just he's very fun to play, and like his strengths mean that like he always has like a win con in every matchup. Like even stuff like like Fox and Bayo and stuff are really hard, but like still we have stuff we can do, and there's always like a way, and that's like that's really fun. I like just learning all the different matchups in the game like with Mewtwo. That's why I'm like going solo Mewtwo. Mainly I will like still play some Chrom every now and then, and he does like go even with Fox or something, which like that's pretty cool because Fox sucks with Mewtwo. So I probably just have like a pocket Chrom that I can pull out whenever I just want to throw someone off maybe. But I am that's why I started playing Mewtwo because of all that, and I am still playing Mewtwo to this day, and I am legally considered to be the best Mewtwo in the state. I'm the highest ranked apparently, which is cool. I'm trying to focus less on rankings though, as I like go throughout the summer and like try to go to more tournaments. I'm just trying to focus more on like improving rather than just like winning and like being the best Mewtwo in the state. Just trying to be the best Mewtwo player that I can be. So that's where I am with Mewtwo and how I got here.
Fair enough. I like that. I Mewtwo was one of the many characters that I've tried out. Before I started going to tournaments, he was one of the many that I tried out. I tried him out just because I found Not Bay as well, but also I have always had a love for Mewtwo because I always thought he was a very cool character, and he's I guess technically a clone of Mew, and Mew's my favorite Pokemon of all time. And so seeing Mewtwo in the game was pretty sweet, and he's interesting. And so
His visual design is really cool.
He does have a very cool visual design. I'll give you that. I've always loved even outside of Smash, seeing him in whatever media I end up seeing him in. Same with Mew as well, because Mew's my favorite, so I'm biased. But I love the way that they're both designed, and how the personalities contrast, and how the characters are specifically.
I will say that's something that the original Japanese script of the first movie does a lot better, is that they made like Mew like actively like antagonizing Mewtwo by saying that like the clones weren't like actually real, instead of just in the English dub just kind of saying general stuff. And also Mewtwo being like unambiguously evil in the first movie was a dub thing. He wasn't like that in the original, and I didn't know that for a while. But yeah, the original script makes Mewtwo like really cool. I still like the dub. Like it's got its funny moments, and it has like there are some really good quotes that are only in the dub. Like the iconic, I see now the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant, is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are. That was my senior quote, by the way. I had to. So yeah. But yeah. So but I really like the original Japanese versions of Mewtwo and Mew, and like how their characters like really like conflicted there. And like the visual design of Mewtwo is I think is super cool because like they really like because I love how in the manga they explicitly mentioned that they used human DNA to alter Mew's stuff with some alter Mew's DNA, which explains why Mewtwo's like more intelligent and is more humanoid looking, and also but like it also like the gene splicing that they did with Mew, the idea was to make it stronger in battle, and I like like how like messed up his body looks sometimes. Like he has two necks and like he has this weird like shriveled up toe looking thing on the back of his feet, which is like really interesting because it's like they didn't care that much about the body as long as he would survive. They just wanted to get as much power in there as possible. Like, I love just the visual design of Mewtwo and like how like he looks so weird too compared to other legendaries, and I just like I like that's super cool. Mewtwo's great. And like, yeah, it's especially weird looking back on this because like again, I didn't even like the guy before I started playing him in Smash, and like now it's like yeah, now he's my favorite Pokemon. Although yeah, my top 10, I have a top 10 favorite Pokemon just off my top of my head. You got Mewtwo, Greninja because of Super Frog, Decidueye, very cool design, and also one of the first starters I chose, Pidgeot, nostalgia, and also just I appreciate birds a lot, so that Pidgeot's an effective bird design. Pangoro, very cool, and also I in my fanfiction my guy's named Poe because I can do that. I'm exercising free will there, and I also love Embor. I just anthropomorphic pig designs in general they go really hard sometimes, and Embor's is done very well. I also quite like Quaquaval, the Gen 9 water starter. I think that guy's pretty neat. Um, Golem I think is really cool. I appreciate that it's like a simple. It's one of the Gen 1 designs that's like simple yet effective, because he's just like a rock with legs, but like he's also like built like a sumo wrestler, and also his shell kind of looks like a grenade, and it makes sense because he blows up. So like I don't know, I like the design. I think he's cool. I also like Orbeetle a lot. The Gen 8 bug. He's bug psychic. He's very cool. Uh, and I also like Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is definitely one of my second favorite legendary. And yeah. So yeah, I got top 10 favorite Pokemon there as well. Just had to go on that since I mentioned Mewtwo as my favorite because I have opinions on Pokemon stuff.
Oh yeah, no, not a problem whatsoever. Honestly, uh, definitely not a problem whatsoever. I'm all here for it. Uh, I think lists help. I like lists, making lists of like your
Hmm.
top 5, 10. Uh,
Hmm.
I I don't know like specifically why. It's just organized. It's
It's fun
nice.
to do, and it helps to
It's fun.
compartmentalize and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm definitely not against that. It's a good idea. Nice.
Hmm.
Probably would have asked that at some point. Maybe this
Hmm.
episode, or maybe if I'm able to get you on for another episode when I decide what questions I'm gonna ask. Repeat, repeaters, people come back for another
Hmm.
episode. But that would have been a good one. So
Hmm.
I appreciate it anyways. Um, yeah, I I wish I was able to just decide that I like to play this character because they felt good and just play a character in Smash. Uh, that's part of the reason I just don't really play. I don't really have a main. I guess I'm all
Hmm.
over the place. Um, for a while there was every week I showed up with a new character, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's not great. I'm trying to focus on these three that I've been playing quietly at my house with and trying to practice them a lot. Um, but who knows if I'll actually stick to it. The only like platform fighting character that's actually felt like great is in the beta of Multiverses,
Hmm.
Tom and Jerry was the best any character has ever felt in any platform fighter for me, which is even greater because I love Tom and Jerry. Obviously, I talked about
Hmm.
that last episode, but the fact that it was Tom and Jerry and they felt like amazing, just the way that the character was designed, first of all, but also the mechanics of how the moves worked, paid homage to originally to the characters in general, but also allowed them to be a very fun and interactive and good character to play, which I can't find something to compare that to in Smash whatsoever, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's something Multiverses did really well was just have really interesting references to the home series, And also, just I love just some of the character interactions in multiverses. I wish Smash had more of them because it's such a fun concept, but it helps like the whole crossover thing. Some of my favorites were the Iron Giant and Superman interactions. I loved those because I love the Iron Giant as the movie, and it was so cool. Like he's living his dream. He's like yeah, because he references like because yeah because yeah in the movie he wants to be like Superman. So like it was super cool to see them like interact. And like there was one line where if Superman beats Iron Giant, he would say, we should hang out sometime. I'll give you some pointers on being Superman." I was like, "That's nice. I love that. Yeah, I love the stuff like that. Yes, yeah, was in the game.
Yes, I agree. I always get like excited for new platform fighters. And I do think that a lot of them do like a decent job. Like a lot of the like really good ones, like Rivals 2, I liked that one a lot, and I'm still currently playing that. I love that game so much. That's a completely different topic, but I love that game a lot. Um, Multiverses was another one where I was like, I love this game so much, and especially because of the fact that I found such a love for Tom and Jerry as a character. Because first of all, like I said, it's probably one of my favorite TV. It's easily one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's just the original Tom and Jerry, and the fact that those characters are in a game of a platform fighter, which is a genre I love to play games in, and then they also felt like so good, meant something so much to me because I was able to play one of my favorite characters, and I liked playing them, and I was good at it too because of how good they felt, and it just meant something, and I loved it. Um, and then they do such good with the interactions, but and then also Nick also Brawl, I also thought was very good. I liked that both 1 and 2 a lot. I had fun with both, but they're not Smash, so they die in like 2 seconds. But I do love all of those games when they came out, and I still would love to play them. I still have Multiverses downloaded on Steam because I like the game a lot and it's fun. So yeah, and I still have Rivals 2 as well. Rivals 2 is a bit more relevant, but
Yeah.
they're fun, and I'm happy we get them. I just wish that they could get more of a following, because I wish I also had something to be kind of close to Tom for Smash because of
Yeah.
how much I loved playing that character. Like it's a different thing when you find a character that feels like your character in a
Yeah.
game like that. And so the fact that Tom was that character is probably put me in even more of a character crisis because I'm like I don't have anything like that in this game, and I want to play this game because I like the game, but I don't have anything like that in this game because I don't have a character that I love as much as Tom, but also feels as good as Tom. So I don't know. I really don't, and that's probably why I'm just all over the place with my character selections. The closest thing in Smash, in my opinion, to Tom and Jerry is Olimar.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but it's not particularly close. And so I've put a
Yeah.
little bit of time in Olimar, but it's still not, I don't know if it's worth my time.
Not the same.
It's not the same. So I don't think it's. I end up always being like, I don't know. I don't think it's worth my time, but maybe it is. I don't know. It's strange, and maybe that's what I end up doing. I just go back to playing Olimar, but Jason would kill me if I play Olimar. So
Honestly, I could use the matchup experience, so like I wouldn't be opposed.
hey, maybe Jake, don't look at the episode. It's a little late. It's a little late to tell him that too. But
Yeah.
maybe I'll go back to playing Time. I don't know. He's still fun for me. I've used him like a few times at tournaments. It was before you came.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be like a pace change because I play a lot of fast characters. But I don't know. He's fun, but he's also just not what I'm looking for because what I'm looking for is not in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm out of questions. Are there anything other things that are really important to you that you'd like to bring up?
Okay, there's like two things. One, I guess that with TV shows, I don't really watch too much like TV because I don't really have a lot of the streaming services. So like a lot of my favorite shows are stuff that I watched as a kid. Like Wild Kratts is probably my favorite kids show. But also Peep in the Big Wide World. I don't know if you're familiar with that one, but that was also my childhood. And also Fetch with Rough Ruffman. Those are like my three favorite like kids shows. They're all like super fun. And then for and also, I obviously like I've talked about Pokemon enough, but I also obviously love Pokemon. The mainly like the I love Kalos as a region in general. So like the fact that it's got the best like seasons of the anime are super cool. Made me love it even more, and also contributed to the fan fiction because that takes place in Kalos. Um, but then yeah, other than that, I will say I really like Death Note. That's definitely my favorite anime.
I've never begun
Death
yet,
Note.
man.
Yeah,
Definitely, I've
that's
heard
one because I
very good
haven't
things
been like
about it.
yeah I've is in my when I yeah I was quite the character in like middle school. I was more into anime then. I haven't seen that many. Like I got partway through Dragon Ball Z and Bleach, and stopped them for different reasons. Dragon Ball Z I stopped because the I just kind of got tired of the premise, just being like big strong good guy beats up big strong bad guy over and over again.
That's the reason I
Like
haven't watched it.
yeah yeah yeah. Apologies to Sagat if he's seeing this. Yeah I don't hate the series. It just wasn't quite my thing. Um, but yeah. And then Bleach like had such a cool concept, and I liked the story as well, but like there was just so much filler. Like partway through the series, they would just cut away from the main plot for like 5 episodes of nothing, and it's like what why am I even doing this anymore? So I stopped like halfway through Bleach. But like yeah, so but I would say Death Note was like short. It's just 37 episodes, and yeah, it was excellent. Big fan of Death Note.
I'll have
And
to,
again, like
especially since it's shorter, I'll be able to get through it actually. So
mhm,
I'll probably have to watch Death Note.
yeah. Because like that, and then like I guess like Ghibli movies, if you count those as anime, I also really like those, as I've mentioned many times so far. But yeah. And then also another show that I've kind of got into recently, but like didn't actually like watch, because again I don't have like the services, but like I recently learned about Has Been Hotel. That one yeah, that was definitely a mixed bag for me. Because I've seen like enough like clip compilations to have a good idea of like what the thing was and like the story and stuff. So I think the concept was super cool. I think that some of the character designs were very nice. I liked Alistair quite a bit. Yeah, finding out that he was canonically asexual was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So that was cool. And I enjoyed his whole like gimmick of like him sounding like he's speaking through a radio. Like I don't know, I thought that was super cool. And yeah, so and some of the music was also quite good. But yeah, the soundtrack itself was also kind of a mixed bag, and like, dude, so much like of the show was just like a lot of missed opportunities. Like, there's a lot of things about like the concept that just aren't explored very well. I don't think. Again, I haven't actually seen the show, but like stuff like so like at the end, like someone like dies and then dies in hell and then goes to heaven, and it's like, so what happens if you died in hell but like didn't get redeemed? Then like where do you go then? That, and I don't think that's like brought up to my knowledge, and I don't know, just maybe it is, but like it's just stuff like that just kind of feels like a missed opportunity. I knew others, I knew of others back when I was like more into it, but that's the real one that I can think of off the top of my head. And also like the dialogue was just feels kind of lazily written a lot of the time. So like yeah, it's, and also because there was a good amount of gore in there, I had to like yeah I couldn't like, watch all of it, of the clips that I found at least. So yeah, that one it intrigued me and I was kind of into it for a bit, but like yeah, I just felt like mentioning it.
That's one that I've heard a lot of good stuff about. But also obviously not all rainbows and sunshine all the time. So it's one that I need to watch, and I have the ability to watch. Finding time is another thing that I bring up all the time on YouTube. Every time I'm on a podcast or even doing something else, I'm like finding the time. I don't have the time. I never have time. But I will try and find time to watch it because I've heard a lot of people really like it. So that's one that I definitely want to watch.
It is
Anime.
definitely interesting. So.
Uh, I I brought up obviously that my favorite is
The
My
animation
Hero.
is fun. Mhm.
Uh, I will always recommend that one. So if you ever have an outlet, I think it's very digestible. I don't think there's a lot of like diversion from like the actual main plot as well, which helps me
Mhm.
with it as well. Because that was one thing, as much as I like the Clone Wars, that I struggled a lot with the Clone Wars and why it took me so long to get through. It's all the filler stuff. So My Hero is one that I will always recommend to people because I think it's very digestible and also very like I'm gonna stay on the main point. And if you want side plot, there's the movies, and movies are also very
Like
good.
spin-off stuff for that.
Yeah, the movies are also very good. I own 3 out of the 4, and I've watched every single one of them. I think they're great. So that's one thing that's an important one that I always will bring up. Just like always bringing up this game. Oh yeah, baby. It's not a product placement. I'm not sponsored. Although if you want to sponsor me, I'm not against it. Um, so yeah, uh, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm out. Oh, I had one
Mhm.
question for the people who don't
Okay.
know. All the other people that here I'll do. Yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, I am learning about all of this like sexuality stuff a little bit because I don't know if people are okay with me bringing it up. So I know a few people that are close to me that are like that way, and I personally never cared. Just because I'm like you are who you are, I really care. I'm here to be a nice person, and that's how I was raised to be. So I'm gonna always be that. So I was going to ask, because I've probably been told but forgot. Asexual. Where does that line
Yes.
up? How does that work?
Okay, so it's an umbrella term. That's mainly what I use it as. It basically means to some degree you just kind of don't feel sexual attraction towards anyone. Because specifically I'm demisexual, which means that I like sometimes will, but only after like forming a super strong emotional bond. So it's like happened to me in like sparse occasions throughout life, but like it's like yeah, recently it's like kind of hasn't happened at all. So it's like I've just been using the term asexual because it works as an umbrella term, and also because people generally know what it means, and it's often easier to explain. But yeah, basically that means like yeah, not being like sexually interested in anyone. I'm also aromantic, which just means that I'm not romantically interested in anyone as well. Not all asexual people are romantic, and not all aromantic people are asexual. They're separate things, but they are often related, as is the case with me. And yeah, but I have very much enjoyed like finding that out about myself because yeah, it's helped me because like that helps me a lot with just interpersonal relationships because like it helps me to like acknowledge that like I don't need like to be in a romantic relationship to be like to be valued or whatever because like I can still have like friendships can be like the utmost the closest relationship I have with people and they can be really special because of that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I appreciate the knowledge, to be honest. But yeah, no, I that makes a lot of sense, and it's cool to know. I always appreciate learning stuff like that, especially about people, because at least from my angle on this channel, I am a no judge person. The only thing I will judge you on is politics. Don't bring them in here, I will kill you. Um, I just politics is a whole thing. I don't really care for them, and all this stuff has
Yeah.
just been kind of crazy, and I just like to avoid it. So stay in your lane,
Yeah.
Isaac. No one cares about your politics. I don't care about politics either. Shut up.
Yeah.
Um,
It can
so
definitely be like it can the discussions can definitely get like really charged, so I understand wanting to kind of stay away from it.
yep, that's exactly how it is. I just if I'm not interested and they're not interested, uh, or even if they are, I don't care. Really don't. So I just stay out of it. But knowing more about other people and how their minds work and how their sexuality is or maybe something like that works is always something that I'm down to learn about. I really don't care what you are.
Yeah.
It will bother me. I've had plenty of people in my time that have been a certain way. And I'm just like, cool, man. Be you. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Yeah. That's cool. We always appreciate allies.
Always. So, I as long as you don't have anything super important that you want to talk about, I will give you the opportunity to shout out things and talk about important things like that that you would like to bring up and maybe shout out, or other ways to get to find you, besides maybe your more personal stuff. Unless you want to get that out, it's completely up to you. But
Okay.
this is your opportunity to shout out whatever you want.
All right. So yeah, at the moment I don't really have much of a social media. I technically have a Twitter, but I haven't used it in like forever. So like, and I'm probably just not going to because, yeah, at least not often. At least I yeah. I might eventually start it. Like I've got a YouTube channel technically where I'm just kind of like I'm like uploading VODs of like myself just as unlisted, mainly just so I can watch them myself. But I might eventually start like making my own content. I probably will at some point. That's something I want to do. So I might eventually have that as a thing that exists. Um, but yeah, other than that, I don't really have that much. I will say, so if you are gonna bring people on as repeats, will we be talking about like music at all then? Because I have a bunch I could say about that.
That's one that I probably should have brought up, to be honest, because music has been a great thing for me recently, in the past 3 years. Um, that's one that I honestly should have brought up. But if we're about 10 minutes away from 2 hours.
Mm.
So yes, if when I get the chance to do repeats, I will 100% bring up music specifically for you, just so we can talk about it, because I would love to hear your opinions if that's something that's obviously it means something to you because you wanted to talk about it. So
Yeah.
will definitely be something that comes back up when I eventually get to the point where I'm bringing people back on, and I hope
Mhm.
these important ones like you and some of the other people that I would like to talk to more about other stuff to get back on sooner rather than later. So it definitely be
Mhm.
something that I bring up again.
Cool. Okay. So in that case, I will simply shout out My Chemical Romance. They're my favorite musical artist. Huge fan of them. So I'm going later this year to a concert of theirs with my dad and two of my best friends, and I'm very excited for that. So yeah, if I'm on like after that, I can talk about the concert and stuff too. So that'd be kind of fun
All right, cool. Yeah, no.
because I've never been to a concert before, so it's gonna be a brand new experience.
Yeah, neither have I. So, hey man, especially going to your favorite bands. That's the way
Yeah.
I want to do it. I told myself that I'm not going to a concert unless it's one of two. So
Hmm.
it's got to be one of those two, and that's the only way I'm going. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoy that. And I'll have to obviously I'll talk if I don't get a chance to bring you on to the podcast immediately, somewhere kind of close to that. I'm obviously gonna probably talk to you about it. I at least hope to. So um, I appreciate you coming out for the episode and coming to me. Honestly, wanting to come on, it means a lot that I've had people actually want to be on the podcast, because a lot of it was me asking people originally, and so the fact that I've had you and Saget as well wanting to come on to the podcast and talk, it does mean a lot. It really does. I appreciate you guys wanting to do that, because it makes my life easier, because I don't have to find people, and I have a list of people I could probably ask those people, but having people that actually want to come out makes it more fun, because I know those people wanted to be on the podcast, so I know that I'm not wasting their time by having them on the podcast because they asked. So it makes my conscience easier on having people on for the podcast and maybe going for like killing like an hour of their time. But also it makes me feel good. People want to come out for something like this, something that means something to me. So I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, I was glad to be here. This was very nice. About 2 hours.
Yeah. No, we're coming right up on it. Yeah, you have officially have the record for the longest episode. So
All right.
I hope that makes you feel great. It makes me feel great. I'm excited. That it's just fun. It's fun. I enjoy coming on and doing this. So again, thank you. I appreciate it. And
Thank you for having this.
oh yeah, for sure. The original concept was to talk to people that are in the Smash community and our little like Jacksonville Smash community, and I brought it up to the people like Theo and Jake and Daniel and those people that are like kind of like the big more in charge people, like,
Yeah.
and so and like they were like, yeah, it sounds fun, but it wasn't really something that seemed like it was going to I don't know. I don't know how to explain it,
Stick
but
around.
stick around very long. So I decided to just take it on myself and still get back to those people. Obviously, Jake was the first one, but I always wanted to bring you were a big one, and I still want to get Daniel on the podcast and a bunch of other people from
Yeah,
that.
that'd be cool if we could get. Yeah, I would appreciate a Daniel episode.
Yeah, he is definitely one of the people on my list that I have to get a hold of for this. Because yeah, I like I said, the original concept, and I didn't have a name at that point, but then it blossomed into something that's for me to catalog people kind of as like a option if say I never see someone again. I can always remember that I've had this with them, and I have the ability to remember that because it's now cataloged on the internet, and I can have it forever because it's something. It is something special, and it's always something to listen to. So I appreciate everyone that comes on a lot. I appreciate you coming out here and sharing things about yourself because that's what makes the episode. That's really what makes the episode. So and I appreciate you guys at home watching because that's also what makes the episode. Is because eventually I could turn this into something more than just a passion project that I have a passion for, but don't have the time or will to do. Um, so it's nice to have a community that is interested because obviously some people are interested, and it does mean truly a lot. So um, before I ramble on anymore and continue to talk because that's what I do, I will say thank you one more time and goodbye, good night. I'm gonna go probably not edit this because I don't have the ability. I don't. Maybe I can fix that at some point, but the recording will be up shortly after this. I'm gonna stick it out for tonight and get it all finished up. So uh, look out for that if you enjoy, if you like that, and wait, like all the other nonsense. I'm leaving. I don't really care about that much. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.